So I got a question, another question that, so I decided to go to read this one out. It says, the best Peugeot expert in Africa, if not around the world. I follow you on YouTube and I must confess you are too much. I want to belong to the Lions family. I wish to buy either Peugeot 407 or Peugeot 607. And what else it say? Advise me on the one to pick when I want to buy. Also advise me on the best engine of either of the 407 or 607 to pick up. Okay, I know a lot of people always call and ask, please help me, advise me. I want to buy a Peugeot 406, 407, 508, whatever. But I don't know which engine is the best. Advice. So I keep wondering, why do people always believe that this engine is better than the other? There's no such thing. Maybe for other brand of cars, but for Peugeot cars, there's no such thing as this is better engine than the other. What you should be asking is, based on what I need the car for, or based on my expectation or what I intend, as in, are you the performance type? Are you into fuel economy? It depends on the purpose of the reason you are buying, or the reason you are buying the vehicle, or you need the vehicle for. So that's the only way I can actually give you a specific answer. Though I will try and just explain the best I can. So before I get to which is the best engine, I'll start with the first question where you said I should advise whether to buy a Peugeot 407 or 607. None of them is a bad car. It's almost like the same thing with the engine. None is a bad car. It all depends on what you want. Of course, just take a look at Peugeot 407 and Peugeot 607. Which one interests you the most? I'm just talking about the exterior of the car first. Okay, let's just say exterior and interior. Look at both. Just go beyond picture, not just picture. Go outside and look at the two cars. If you see them passing or whatever, or just go and sit inside one and then come out and view the car. No matter what, one of them will excite you the most. As in, when you see yourself or imagine yourself being an owner of one of those cars, you will find yourself feeling happier, having either Peugeot 407 or Peugeot 607. It doesn't mean two of them doesn't make you happy to own them. Even the thought of buying or owning them does not mean, no. What I mean is, one of them will excite you the most, or one of them you find it more attractive than the other. That's the thing. Because there are some decisions you have to, in fact, not just this, every choice and decision you have to make it yourself, right? So in that case, I can't tell what is going on in your mind. You have to make that choice. Now, 607 have two phases, phase 1 and the phase 2. The phase 1 is just like 406. All the electric cars, the engine, the gearboxes, everything you know about Peugeot 406 in terms of electrical and mechanical is the same thing in Peugeot 607 phase 1, also known as Z8, 99 to 2010 productions. So the only difference between 406 and 607, of course, the way they look. One is bigger, one has, in fact, they all look differently. And also the 607, to me, I always say is a luxury version of Peugeot 406. So it has more gadgets, it's bigger, every other thing. But in terms of the mechanical, the engine, well, not all the mechanical parts, but at least the engine, the gearboxes, they are the same. But in terms of suspension, the 4-cylinder ones are the same with the 406, but the V6, the suspension is completely different. Now, when I'm talking about suspension, I'm only talking specifically the shock absorbers, not every part of the suspension system. I know the front brake for the EW, like 607 with EW10 and the EW12 J4 engine, they use the same brake disc, brake pad, and front stabilizer link with Peugeot 406. While the V6, I'm talking about phase 1 607 now. While the V6 607 has different shock absorbers, completely different shock absorbers and different brake disc, and especially the front brake disc and pad, completely different from 406. Right. So now the electrical for the phase 1, they are the same. Engine ECU is the same with that of 406. Yes, Z8 or 406 phase 1, no, 607 phase 1. The engine ECU is the same with 406. So if you have an EW10J4 607, the ECU is the same with the EW10J4 and 406. Likewise, the EW12 and the V6. But the PSI unit, they are different. Now 407 is the same with the same system, the same engine with what's it called? With the same system with 607 phase 2. That's the 2004 to 2010 production. So it's just like for Z8 and D9, which is the 406. So everything you see in 407, that's what you see in 607 phase 2. So the 607 phase 2 or Z9 is more like the Rosley version of 407. Yeah, Rosley version of Peugeot 407. So it all depends on what you want, you know. But the only thing I could tell you is in terms of mechanicals, specifically the engine, 407 has about 6 petrol engines, while 607 phase 2 has only 2 petrol engines. Yes, only 2 petrol engines, EW12 J4 and V6. So there you go. So it all depends on if you are into fuel economy. Now let me come to, I don't even know where to start in terms of the engine, because when it comes to fuel economy, it's actually subjective. Just because somebody says, oh, this one consumes more fuel, doesn't or this one consumes too much fuel, or you know, it depends on how the person puts it. It does not necessarily mean truly that the consumption is too much for you. It's like somebody who drives a V8 or a V12 engine and is okay with that. But somebody else who drives a 3-cylinder engine may drive that car, that V12 one day, and start complaining that the consumption is too high. While the person that actually owns the car, to him the fuel economy is okay. So that's why I say fuel economy is subjective. But logically, when you now say, okay, which one consumes less and high, yeah, okay, that makes sense. You can now say, in that case, you are not talking about fuel economy anymore. You know. But for the one that consumes less, of course, the smaller engines consume less. For example, 607, the phase 1 has EW10J4, that's a 2.0 liter petrol engine with 138 horsepower. It consumes less. However, you have to know that if you tend to buy that one, don't carry much load. If you carry too much load, the consumption will even go higher than that of the V6 or the EW12J4, because the engine power is very small for that vehicle. So it will make more sense probably if you drive only yourself, or maybe have 1 or 2 passengers. But once you carry a load, because the car is very big, the boot is very huge, you can swallow anything you throw at it. That's the advantage 607 has over 406 and 407. The boot is massive. It's a perfect car for long journeys. You can throw everything you want in it and it will close. You know. So in that case, the EW10 will not serve that purpose. If you intend to carry load a lot, it will consume and stress the engine. So in that, you need a bigger engine. In that case, so I would say this engine is better in terms of reliability or durability. There are no such thing like that as far as Peugeot is concerned. All the engines in 407 and the 607, whether phase 1 or phase 2, the parts are very much available in Nigeria. I don't know about other countries. So if you are considering, okay, which one that the parts are easily accessible, they are all available. Whether phase 1 or phase 2, like I said earlier. Performance wise, if you're into performance, now this is where I'll tell you, okay, my own test. If you're into performance and you are choosing wants a 407 that moves very quickly and is fun to drive whenever you are behind the wheel, I would suggest EW12 407 with EW12J4 manual. I know not everybody likes manual, so I'm telling you, I'm just saying into performance now. I'm talking about performance. EW12J4 manual. There's another one that is also very fun to drive, but it's not common. That's the highest of them when it comes to performance in 407. The highest is 407 V6 Coupe 6-speed manual. If you can get that one, oh la la! As in, I've driven this car and wow, you just have a like. So 407 can be this sweet, guys. I'm not joking. You can't even compare it to the automatic 407 V6 automatic. You can't. The same engine, but the gearbox makes it different completely. There are a lot of differences in terms of having fun behind the wheel. If you can find a 407 V6 Coupe manual, but they are not that common, and also not everybody likes a coupe, 3-door or 2-door vehicle. They prefer saloon. So, and or you can also go for EW10 407 with EW10 J4 manual if you are into fun. Yeah, it's also good. Or EW10A manual. Yeah, the power is not that much, but it's okay. Now, all these cars I mentioned, they also have the automatic, if you want automatic, but in terms of fun or in terms of performance, forget it. As far as I'm concerned, I always tell people, Peugeot in the 2000, from 99 to 2000, I will tell you, if you use SWOT analysis, manual was their strength, while automatic was their weakness. But a lot of people tend to disagree. Well, everybody have their own destiny, but I've been in the auto industry for many years. I've driven quite a number of them, not owning them, but I've seen how they behave, how they react when you want to catch some fun or push them for performance. And I can tell you, when it comes to performance, Peugeot knows what they are doing. It's just their manual, But if you are just okay, I want to drive from A to B or stuff like that, you don't care, then go for the automatic. But I also understand that automatic, the maintenance cost is higher. The manual, you don't necessarily need to touch the oil, but for the automatic, you have to. After, I always recommend at least 30,000 kilometers, you have to change the ATF, and the ATFs are not that cheap, especially for the 4-cylinder ones. 4-cylinder ones in 407. It's only one source in Nigeria so far where you can get the recommended one. I don't know about the alternative. 607, same thing. Of course, 607, like I said, it doesn't have much engine. The phase 1 has only 3 engines: EW10J4, EW12J4, and ES9J4S. That's V6. While the phase 2 has only EW12J4 and the ES98. That's V6. So, 607 needs a car, an engine that has power. Funny enough, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something that may blow your mind. If you are really after fuel economy, I would suggest you go for 607. 607 consume less than 407. Yes, as big as huge as 607 is, Peugeot 607 is, the weight is lower. It has lower weight than 407. Like I said, people bring cars to me. I drive, I repair, I diagnose. In the process, I drive a lot of cars. Sometimes they even give me to use for like a week or so, and to detect all the problem, then suggest repair cost of whatever that needs to be done. So I use these cars, both automatic, manual, and other. So I can tell you, in terms of fuel consumption, 607 consumes less compared to 407 with the same engine. Now I'm talking about like if it EW10 J4 in 607, EW10 J4 in 407, the 607 will consume less. Likewise, EW12 V6, 607 consumes less. 407 weight is high. It's higher than that of 607. So that's what I'm saying. If you are really into fuel economy, yeah. But of course, if you not go and carry load because of the size, if you want to, okay, 607 is very huge, you can take, I don't know, maybe 300 kgs or something, and of course, you consume. You carry it because this one can take more load than 407. It's likely going to consume more than 407. Now I'm telling you because most people are always after fuel economy, which one consume less. People like me, I really don't give a shit. All I care about is performance. So it didn't specifically say, oh, I'm into fuel economy, or I want one that makes me happy while I'm driving all the time. Because people always think that, oh, Peugeot cars are good. Yes, they are very good in terms of their suspension and everything, but it doesn't necessarily mean all of them are packaged for performance. No. Their suspensions are good, but some have better performance, better suspension in terms of performance. Like the 607 V6, 407 V6, their suspension is built for performance. Even their steering, they are well packaged for performance, so that when you're on high speed, you tend to enjoy the vehicle more than the ones with normal suspension, like the vehicles with the EW10 J4, like 407, 607 now. That's what I'm talking about. EW10 J4, EW10A, EW7A. Even EW12 too. The suspension is basically the same thing with the EW10A and the J4. It's only that the brakes, the only difference now is when it comes to the brake, they have the same brake with the V6, while the EW10 has a lower brake components. In terms of not quality, but I'm talking about in terms of performance, they are not as good as that of the V6 and E12. So in the cost, funny enough, you'll be surprised that 607, depending on grade, Phase 1, of course, costs less than 407. Phase 2 is almost the same price with 407. It all depends on like the grade, the production year. In fact, two of them were produced almost the same time. Of course, brand new, the 607 cost more because it was a luxury car. But luxury car, the resale value is always lower once it comes to used vehicles. So that's why you can get 607 cheaper than even 407. Yes, I'm telling you with every authority as someone who is a Peugeot specialist and been in this auto industry for years. 407 costs more than 607. Phase 1 or phase 2 in terms of grade. That's in terms of production year or whatever. Yeah, there are some 607 phase 2 you can get a very high price, but you can always see that it's still almost the same range with the 407. While most 407 cost absolutely very high. So now you hear it. So they are all the same. But the other thing I'll tell you about 607 is you have to be very careful with the electric car because it is well packed with electronics. It's like I said, it's a luxury vehicle. There are so many gadgets in it that 407 don't have. Well, I won't say so many, but it has more gadgets than 407, and it's being controlled by the BSI unit. So it means the BSI unit in 607 doesn't like tampering, don't messing with wire that can crash the BSI. you know. So you have to be very careful. If you are buying a 607, make sure you are not the type that abuse electricals. If you know you are the type that like abusing electrical, just cutting off and down, taking your vehicle to roadside, electrician that don't know for which one is spanner or screwdriver, then you are in for trouble. Even 407 will give you the same help. These are modern cars, electronically controlled. If you can't afford to maintain them the way they are supposed to, stay away from them. 607 will give you more help than 407. Even though 407 will also give you the same nightmare, but 607 it will even waste time because of the electronics that are all interconnected. So if you mess up one system, it will affect the every other system. Don't tamper your electrics. If there's a problem, scan the vehicle, start from there. It will tell you what the issue is. You go there, remove the part, put another part. Chicken, huh? But if you like, oh no, let me just give that one under the mango tree, let him use his wire to touch this one, bypass this one to the other one, to cut. Don't come back and complain to me. You killed your vehicle, not me, not Peugeot. You are the one killing or bringing all this nightmare upon yourself. So those are the things I mentioned. I don't know if any other this thing. So I can't tell you which choice. Personally, if you're asking me which should I choose 407 over 607. No, I'm into 607. You know, no matter whatever they have their own test or what they find attractive. So I find 607 more attractive. I actually own one too, and the phase 2. So I find 607 more attractive than the 407. Even though 407 has more engine, options, so you can always choose. Why 607 has 3 engines only, while 407 has about 6 petrol engines. 607 only 3 petrol engines. So the options are limited in 607. While 407 there are so many of them you can choose from in terms of power, economy, and all that. So 607 also have EW12 J4 manual, both 5-speed manual and 6-speed manual. It also has automatic. So it all depends on you. You have to look at things. And my only advice is don't go and buy without getting an expert involved. People, whenever I say that, they think that, oh, I'm marketing myself. I just want to make money off people. Yeah, maybe you are right. I'm not saying I will not collect money for you, that I will do it for free. But if you can't afford my own cost, which is 20,000 naira for now, find somebody else who may do it for you for free or cheaper than what I charge. Find an expert. Don't go and buy even Tokumbo. I did a review, not even a review, an advert of Peugeot 607 Tokumbo, right? But in the video I mentioned some of the faults that I found in the car. There are so many other faults I did not mention too. So even though I noted them, in case somebody now wants to come to me to buy the car, I'll know what to advise the person. Find an expert. An expert will now look at the vehicle. People always think that Tokumbo car means it's a new car. It's not a brand new car, it's a used car. Used cars are expected to have 1 or 2 issues or problems that need to be sorted. I don't know why people always think that it's a Tokumbo car. No. The difference between Tokumbo car and Nigerian used car is because Tokumbo cars, they electrically and every other thing, they are not abused. Even their mechanical, most are 90, at least over 90 or 80% of them, they don't abuse their vehicles. Unlike Nigerian, that is a nightmare. Once a Nigerian car enter Nigerian road, it becomes something else. The way people treat them. So it doesn't mean parts will not fail. You will not buy a Tokumbo car with automatic gearbox issue. Come on. They've used it over there. Probably the gearbox, if it's automatic, has developed an issue. Or maybe suspension shock absorber needs to be changed. Or maybe the brake pads has worn. Or maybe while we are transporting the car from Lagos to Abuja, after it was cleared, they created a problem on the vehicle. These are the things you need an expert to see and tell you, okay, this and this and this is what needs to be fixed on this car, and this is what it will cost you. So if you are buying this car, know that you are going to spend this amount to get this car to certain tests or everything to work. If the owner is not saying, the seller is saying selling at 1 million naira, 2, 3 or 4 million naira, can you afford to buy it and still have enough money to spend these things? So it will give you the information. You arm yourself to know how to price the vehicle. That's why I always prefer to get an expert. But if you feel no, you can risk it, go ahead and do. But don't come back and complain later that Peugeot cars are always problematic because we are warned before time, or you bought and realized that you bought a vehicle and spent over 500,000, even though it was Tokumbo or so, trying to fix things. Alright, guys, I've burnt some fuel here. So I believe everything I said. If you need more clarification, just send a question the way you did. And every other person watching this, if you have any other question considering Peugeot cars you want to buy or whatever, just send me a message, and like I post, you find in the video description, then I'll respond when I have time and upload.